Myself is Supriya Saule. I am from Varieses Municipal Secondary School, Standard 9, subject Political Science, Chapter number 2, India's Foreign Policy. Today we are going to start with the introduction. From the last chapter, we understood the world in the Cold War period, the arms race and the efforts at disarmament. We also learned about the global development from 1945 onwards and the meaning of the globalization. Similarly, we have also studied that we are dependent on the different persons, institutions, and the organizations in society for different facilities. Interdependence and the mutual cooperation has a very important place in our social life, and it implies to different nations as well. Now, what is the international system and how we have become the part of this international system? That exchange and interaction takes place among the nations in the world and they entered into treaties with one another. This system of the interdependence of the sovereign states is called the international system. Similarly, no country, however big or small it may be, is not self-sufficient. They are dependent on each other for one reason or the other. Interdependence is an important feature of the international system, that is today's global system. It means every nation has a policy about its relations with other nations, and this policy is called as the foreign policy. Before starting the foreign policy, we are going to study or we are going to see background behind this foreign policy or behind the contemporary world. As we know that many events and the developments in the 20th century have shaped in the world in which we live today. In order to understand today's world, we need to go back to history. The First and the Second World Wars are the most important events of the 20th century. We have seen the effects of the First World War and the Second World War. The world completely changed due to these two wars. We know that the First World War was fought from 1914 to 1918 between the Allied powers and the Central powers. Now, which Allied powers were participated in that? For example, Britain, France, Russia, Italy, America. These Allied powers participated in the First World War. Similarly, along with the Allied powers, there were some Central powers. They also participated in the First World War, like Germany, Austria, Hungary, Ottoman Empire, Bulgaria, etc. At that time, Europe was at the center of the international and the global system. The war caused tremendous loss of life and the property in Europe, and the economy of the victorious as well as Venice had collapsed. After the First World War, there was decision was taken that there should not be the Second World War, and the precaution was taken, and because of that, the League of Nations, one international organization, was established in the year 1920 to solve the international disputes by the negotiations. The main responsibility of the League of Nations was to avoid the war. After the war, major changes came about in Europe. Movements for independence started in the colonies of the European powers in Asia and Africa. And the League of Nations should not stop the outbreak of the Second World War. It means the League of Nations failed to stop the outbreak of the Second World War, and Second World War took place. Again, the Second World War was fought from 1939 to 1945 between the Allied powers and the Axis powers, that is the Central powers. Now, in Allied powers, Britain was there, France, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, India, Soviet Union, China, America. These countries participated. And in Axis powers or Central powers, Germany, Japan, and Italy, these three countries involved. The Second World War was more destructive than the First World War. It was more widespread than the First World War, and more advanced technology was used in this war. America played a major role in the Second World War as it played a major role during the First World War, and because of America, Allied powers won the war. Similarly, because of America, the Allied powers also won the Second World War. The war ended with the defeat of Germany and Japan. Again, the precaution was taken that there should not be Third World War, because if there would be Third World War, then nobody would be left to taste the fruit of victory. And for that purpose, the United Nations was established in the year 1945. Similarly, in the year 1945, the Cold War was started. No, Cold War was not a war that was actually fought on the land, but it was the warlike situation that was created in the entire world. And the Cold War was started between America and the Soviet Union, because at that time world became bipolar and the two superpowers were there in the world, that is the America and the Russia. And their rivalry described as the Cold War that was lasted for over 45 years, that is from 1945 to 1991. So we have seen the background of the world. Now we are going to actually start the foreign policy of India. All the countries are the members of the international system, and no country is completely self-sufficient, as we have discussed earlier. There is a mutual dependence in the international system. In this context, every country has to decide the nations which it should be friendly, in which bloc it should participate, or what position it should take in international relations. As we have seen that US is connected with Germany, Germany is connected with UK, UK is connected with India, again India is connected with Canada, Canada is connected with Australia, then Australia is connected with Japan. Again, the same flow chart is there that you are seeing on the screen. Japan is connected to Russia and Russia is connected to France. Only this interdependence should not be beneficial to countries. Hence, effort need to be made that it benefits each and every nation. In this context, every country has to decide the nations with which it should be friendly, in which bloc it should participate, or what position it should take in international relations. Hence, every sovereign and independent nation decides its foreign policy. And this foreign policy plays an important role in international relations. National interest that we are going to start now. Now, what is the national interest? National interest and the foreign policy are closely connected. National interest is fostered through the foreign policy. Now, national interest is considered to be the goal, and foreign policy is considered to be the means to achieve it. In a simple sentence, it means national interest implies the means through which the independence, and sovereignty of a country can be safeguarded. Goals of the nations change with the changing times. Accordingly, the foreign policy changes to suit the national interest. Actually, now we are going to study the factors that influencing the foreign policy. Actually, foreign policy decides what kind of relations to have with which country in the international system. But several factors affect the foreign policy, which is very different. Let us learn those factors one by one. The first factor that we are going to say now, that's the geographical factors. You must have seen the globe or the map of the world. You can see the geographical location of any nation from that. Some countries are far away from the other countries, while some countries are nearby. Some nations have a long coastal line, while some have a plenty of natural wealth. So this is all about the geographical factors. The second factor that is the political system. In a democratic political system, the Union Parliament plays a major role in evolving foreign policy. When different aspects came up for the discussion in Parliament, the opposition parties tried to regulate the foreign policy by raising the questions about the same. Even India has a federal system and has to take into account the concerns of the constituents of the state as the affairs in the neighboring nations affect them. For example, events in Sri Lanka may affect Tamil Nadu that you can see on the screen, and those in Bangladesh may affect West Bengal and the Northeast Indian states. Now, the third factor that is the economy. In the modern times, the economic conditions has acquired great importance in deciding the foreign policy. As a result, the economy impacts foreign policy two ways. First, foreign policy is shaped by the need to establish economic relations with other countries like export and import and the participation in the world trade, and all these aimed at strengthening the economy of the country. Second, in today's world, the issues of the economic security are as important as the national security. A country is recognized to be powerful in a proportion to the economic security it enjoys. A country is having a strong economy is less dependent on the others, and the country is having a weak economy is more dependent on the others. And they can have an independent foreign policy as well. The fourth factor that is the national leadership. The president, the prime minister, the foreign minister, the defense minister, and the home minister have a role in deciding the foreign policy. The persons holding these positions try to maintain the continuity in the foreign policy to improve upon it. For example, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru contributed the policy of non-alignment to India's foreign policy. The Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee contributed a great deal to improve Sino-Indian relations. As we have seen, the fourth factor that is the national leadership. Now we are going to start the fifth factor that is the administrative factors. Ministry of External Affairs, Foreign Secretary, ambassadors in the other countries, and diplomatic officers are the administrative factors involved in formulating the foreign policy. Even though the final decisions are taken by the Prime Minister and the Ministries for the External Affairs, the role of National Security Advisor is also important in this task. The administrative offices collect information to shape the foreign policy, analyze it, and give appropriate advice based on it. The role of National Security Advisor is also important in this task. Now, here we have finished the factors that influencing the India's foreign policy. Now we are going to see what is actually India's foreign policy. After taking the preliminary information about the foreign policy, we shall get to know more about India's foreign policy. India got independence in the year 1947, and from then onwards, we started shaping our foreign policy independently. Directive principles of state policy have laid down guidelines about how to shape the foreign policy. Article 51, among the directive principles of state policy, lay down the broad framework for the foreign policy. Now, we will see the directive principles of state policy of India. First, to promote international peace and security. Second, to maintain just and honorable relations between the nations. Third, to foster respect for international law and treaty obligations in the dealings of organized people with one another. Fourth, to encourage settlement of international disputes by arbitration. See, all these are the directive principles of the state policy of India that laid down by Article 51 of the Indian Constitution. According to it, India should give a priority to safeguard internal peace and security and resolve our international problems and disputes by peaceful means. The objective of our foreign policy should be to maintain the friendly relations with other nations and respect the international law. So it's a duty of India to maintain friendly relations with the other nations and respect the international law. Now, important objectives of India's foreign policy. Now, we'll see one by one which are the important objectives of India's foreign policy. First one, while maintaining friendly relations with the neighboring
सुप्रिया मॅडम, मॅडम तुमचा आवाज नाही येतोय, माईक म्यूट आहे तुमचा. हॅलो
Hello. 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 Hello.